for our thorough 12-point expert inspection. Gabroods, serving our Northern California neighbors for more than 30 years. Gabroods, G-U-B-R-U-D-S.
Call the good dudes at Gabroods, G-U-B-R-U-D-S, Gabroods.com.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
Hey, it's Grant Napear for Village Financial Group. I have known broker owner Spencer Grimmenstein for 25 years, ever since he began his family-owned business. Whether it's a home equity line of credit or buying or selling a home, Spencer is a very creative financing specialist with access to private money. Check out Village Financial Group at vfgloans.com or call Spencer at 916-805-4868. Be sure and call for the investor special. And if you go to their website, vfgloans.com, you can find over 9,000 properties available for purchase. Folks, Spencer is awesome. Trust me. Again, I've known the guy since 2000. It makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. Call 916-805-4868.
Looking for the perfect spot to watch the game and enjoy amazing food and drinks? Look no further than Fieldhouse American Sports Pub. Family owned and operated, Fieldhouse is passionate about creating a fun, welcoming atmosphere for everyone. Spice things up on Tuesdays with Taco Tuesday. Buy any order of our delicious tacos and get a refreshing margarita for just $6. On Wednesday, Fieldhouse features incredible drink specials. Enjoy $5 well drinks and ice cold pints all day long. Fieldhouse was voted one sports bar in Sacramento. Tons of TVs, a mouthwatering menu, and daily specials. It's the perfect sports bar to catch all the action. Visit us today at 1833 Fulton Avenue. Fieldhouse American Sports Pub, where the food is fantastic, the drinks are flowing, and the good times never stop. Fieldhouse, bring it to the house.
Tell your friends. Grant's back. Grant Napear is back on the Sacramento airwaves right here. KSAC 890 AM Olivehurst. K284CM 104.7 FM Sacramento. Hello. Hello, Sacramento. Sacktown. And welcome in.
Grant Napear.
How you been? You know this guy.
It's your show.
So happy to hear you on the airwaves.
Time to begin. 2+ decades on the radio with you.
Just the start of an incredible journey.
Now he's back on Fox Sports 104.7 FM and 890 AM.
3 to 6 every day, Fox Sports Sacramento.
The phone number?
916-779-0929.
His name? Grant Napear.
Yes, I am back. My thanks to Rhino for pinch hitting yesterday. I hate missing shows. Hate. But didn't have a choice yesterday, but we are back. Man, do we have a lot to talk about. How the heck are you? So, the mighty Sacramento Kings, with a record of 3 up and 12 down, are in Memphis tonight. They have 4 wins. Keegan Murray is going to play tonight. Guess who's not playing tonight? And guess who's not going to be playing for the next several weeks? Domantas Sabonis, a partially torn meniscus in his knee. He's going to be reevaluated in 3 to 4 weeks. So, like, I told you before the season began that by Thanksgiving, the Kings would be out of it. And I said that this season would be a disaster. I had no way of knowing that a knee injury to Sabonis would factor into that before we get to Thanksgiving. But this season already has been a disaster, and it will continue to be a disaster until Doug Christie wakes the heck up and starts coaching this team the way it needs to be coached. What are you doing? Would someone please tell me what is Doug Christie doing? Like, there's nothing makes sense. What he says on the postgame shows doesn't make sense. His substitution pattern doesn't make sense. His minutes doesn't make sense. Would someone please tell me why Nick Clifford is barely playing now? Would someone please tell me why Keon Ellis's minutes don't make any sense? There's no rhyme or reason to how he's using Keon Ellis. Would someone please explain to me how he keeps Dennis Schroeder in the game against the Oklahoma City Thunder last night for 32 minutes and watches Schroeder take 21 shots? That's right, 21 shots. He scored 21 points on 21 shots. I could score 21 points on 21 shots. Well, maybe not. 2 of 9 from downtown. Really? Dennis Schroeder is taking 9 3-pointers, and I've got Zach LaVine on the floor who's taking 10 shots, and DeRozan is taking 12 shots, and Dennis Schroeder is taking 21 shots, and you're just going to keep playing him? Really? Like, what's that all about? Like, what is Doug Christie doing? How about wake up and coach the team the way it needs to be coached? Seriously, the season's over. Can we just acknowledge that? You're 3-12. You're 3-12. And now you don't have your best player for probably a month or so. I mean, come on now. Nick Clifford played 8 minutes. The opening game of this road trip, he played, 7 minutes? Game 2, he played, 11 minutes? Listen, I'm not making Nick Clifford out to be like the next great player in the history of the NBA, but come on now. How many times do we have to come on the air and talk about what's going on with Keon Ellis? Again, what is Doug doing here? There's no pattern. There's no rhythm. There's nothing. It's nonsense. Oklahoma City didn't even play well. They were going through the motions last night. They win 113-99. Did I expect the Kings to win last night? No. Was I okay with their effort? Yeah, I was. But you know, how sad is it that we're now evaluating the Sacramento Kings from game to game on whether they have an effort or not? Think about that. That's how the season has already become. We're the week before Thanksgiving, next Thursday. And you know what we're judging this team on? Gee, they really had good effort tonight. Even Doug talked about it after the game last night. Really? Like, that's what it's come down to? Good effort? That's how I have to evaluate the team? And tonight they take on the Memphis Grizzlies without the head case John Morant. Jaren Jackson, as of a couple of moments ago, was listed as doubtful with an ankle. The Grizzlies are a franchise that might, and again, I use the word might, be in more disarray and more dysfunctional than the Kings, which is saying something. They're 4-11. They've lost 9 of their last 10. Their point differential is minus 8-1, which is a lot better than the Kings at minus 11.6. They don't like playing for their coach. Their offense looks like Dick Motta's offense. And I don't know what's going on in Memphis other than the fans are like, forget it. Wait till you see the arena tonight if you watch the game. It's going to be empty. Why would you go watch the Kings and the Grizzlies? Seriously, why would you go to that game? Why would you? How about all the bad teams in the West? We keep on talking about, like, the West this, the West that. I mean, really? The 9th place team, the Portland Trailblazers, are 6-9. Vucevic with another 3 for the Bulls last night to win at the Horn. They're 6-9. The Jazz are in 10th place. They're at 5-9. The Clippers are 4-10. The Grizzlies are 4-11. Dallas is 4-12. Sacramento is 3-12, and New Orleans is 2-13. I mean, the West, from after you get done with the Warriors, who are basically a 500 team, the West stinks. Portland, to me, I think they're going to be okay, but they're 6-9. But I mean, it's a weak bottom half of the Western Conference. Weak. I mean, if you look at the 10th place team in the East, it's Orlando at 8-7. Big difference. Big difference. All right, so Keegan Murray tonight. What do you expect from Murray? Jerry Reynolds on our YouTube channel, if you don't like that, post-game show with Rhino yesterday, and he was asked by Rhino what we can expect from Keegan Murray starting tonight.
But that's a great point. I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things that might be tough to put him right in the starting lineup as a 30-minute guy. Certainly hasn't had that kind of work. Achua's playing pretty well. So you might choose to bring Keegan off the bench for a couple of games. Having said all that, at some point, very quickly once he comes back, he needs to be a 30-plus minute guy, and whether you play him at 3 or 4, that'll be determined. But I think he becomes a starter. Probably, Achua might come off the bench, as maybe the first big off the bench kind of thing. But certainly there's no way it doesn't help you, because it gives you a guy that can block some shots, obviously shoot the ball. But I do think, I don't want to get too fired up. It's, I think Keegan didn't have a preseason. And so, I think first couple games back, I'd be surprised if he plays any extended minutes, just try to make sure he gets out there and gets minutes in both halves, and try to get him comfortable as quick as possible.
Jerry Reynolds on the YouTube channel. If you don't like that, we will be on right after the game tonight, the three of us, Jerry, Rhino, and myself. I agree with Jerry about the minutes, but I'm starting him tonight. Like, what do you have to lose? You're 3-12. Who cares? Start him. You're 3-12. Your season's over. Doug's not going to admit the season's over, but I mean, I don't know what's going on with the Kings anymore. I really don't. I say this in all sincerity. Like, you tell me what's going on with the Kings. Seriously. I mean, there's just no rhyme or reason with anything that's going on. It doesn't make sense to me. What is the goal of this year? Seriously. Why is Dennis Schroeder taking 21 shots? I mean, I don't get that. There's so many things going on with this team right now that I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me. So the Kings and Grizzlies tonight. Let me tell you what's coming up on the show today. In segment 2 of this first hour, a guy that I love who's had an incredible life story, Ryan Anderson. What a story he was. Went to high school at Oak Ridge and El Dorado Hills. Went to college at Cal after playing in the state tournament at Arco Arena as a high school player with Oak Ridge. Then went into the NBA and had really, really good years in Orlando after being drafted by New Jersey. Went through an unbelievably horrible life experience when he was with New Orleans, and his girlfriend, who was a well-known individual from the TV show The Bachelorette, committed suicide in the middle of the season, in which Monty Williams came to Ryan's rescue that night. And I've always shared this story, and I don't want to get into it too much right now because Ryan's going to be coming on. But the interview that I had with Ryan courtside towards the end of his career was one of the most memorable experiences that I've ever had in broadcasting anything, anywhere in my career. So he's going to be coming on here in about 15 minutes. I'm looking forward to talking with him. And another baby in the Anderson family, number 3, just arrived a short period of time ago. So I'm looking forward to having Ryan on. That is coming up in about 15 minutes right here on the Grant Napear Show. So you got NFL football tonight. We'll get into that later with the Bills and the Texans. But I want to get your take at 916-779-0929. Now, you can use that number to text the show or call the show, 916-779-0929. What's going on with the Kings? What's going on? Seriously, like, can you answer that question to me? Like, what's the goal? What is going on? Like, it doesn't make sense. Rhino, you did the show last night with Jerry, and we talk about minutes played. We talk about shot selection. Like, how do you explain last night with Dennis Schroeder taking 21 shots when your two best offensive players are not taking shots, and you have Nick Clifford playing 8 minutes, Keon Ellis playing 11 minutes? Like, how do you explain that?
It's difficult to explain because of Doug Christie's rotation. He plays 10 people in the first quarter. And, Grant, one of the things we said was when a player's got it going, great. But you also need to recognize when it's slowing down because for the most part, the Kings were in that game. As you said, Oklahoma City not playing well. But now, with what's going on, this seems like the right spot to possibly reset this thing with the news of Sabonis. So
Yeah, I'm with you. The reset to me has to happen, and it has to happen like now. Like, really, when I mean now, I'm talking about in 2 hours from now is when the reset has to happen. I like seeing Max Reynaud on the floor for 19 minutes. I thought he was pretty good. I didn't think he was great, but I thought he was pretty good. I didn't think he looked like he didn't belong on the floor. So I like that. But what's Nick Clifford, Rhino? How is it that Nick Clifford is playing on most nights now less than 10 minutes a game?
It's really hard to understand, and you combine his minutes with Keon Ellis, and notably, Keon got garbage minutes last night, but the two of them together, right around 19 minutes.
19 minutes.
Dennis Schroeder, 32 minutes, 21 points, but what would the two of them do with 30 minutes?
And here's the other deal. Nick Clifford, to me, being a rookie, has got to be shell-shocked right now. He's gone from starting to look at his stat line last night, Ron. We played 8 minutes. He didn't take a shot. He didn't have an assist. He didn't have a rebound. He had 1 turnover and 2 fouls. It's like, is he looking over his shoulder going, man, I'm going to be taken out if I make a mistake? Or he can't even get into the rhythm. He can't even get into a flow. He's not on the floor long enough.
That's such a great question. I don't know that he's looking over his shoulder, but I know if I was Nick Clifford, I would be very confused about what our team is built around, what our coach is asking, and knowing that as a rookie, I'm ready to try those things. He's shown that he can put that effort forth. Doug Christie has said, we don't care if you make a mistake. You're a rookie as long as you're giving that effort and you're only getting 8 minutes. And you're seeing vets turn the ball over 8 times in the third quarter.
This question, Grant, does Doug get a pass in his first year as coach due to the roster he inherited and due to injuries to starters? Not in my book, he doesn't get a pass. I mean, I'm looking at the Phoenix Suns. They're 9-6. Most people that cover the NBA had projected them to be below the Kings this year. And their roster isn't anything to get excited about. And one of the players that they traded to acquire from Houston, Jalen Green, has only played in 1 or 2 games. He's been out. He's a starter. He's a guy that they were expecting. And when he did play in his first game, I think he had 28 points. So, what's so good about the Phoenix Suns roster? Again, they're 9-6. I watched the Jazz play, and I don't want to make the Jazz out to be a great team, but I'll tell you this. I look at the Jazz roster, and Larry Markkinen is having a great, not a good, a great season, and he's the real deal. Keontae George at point guard, I love. I've watched the Jazz play a couple of times. You know what they do that the Kings don't do? They play with vigor, heart, pizzazz, okay? Their point differential is minus 5.5, which is a heck of a lot better than minus 11.6. And they're competitive on a lot of nights. I mean, why can't the Kings do that? Seriously. Are you going to talk about, the Kings have played Oklahoma City 3 times? Yeah, they did. That's not easy. Once, though, was on a second night of a back-to-back when the Thunder were playing 3 and 4, and they didn't play well. Last night, the Thunder didn't play well. Playing Denver already twice is not exactly a picnic, and you play them again this weekend. I mean, I understand the schedule's been tough, but it's the NBA, for crying out loud.
Grant, both teams have directions. Utah is playing their young guys.
Yes.
They shipped out
Yes.
their backcourt that was getting older, and Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson
Yep.
this summer, and they're playing around marketing, and the young guys are playing well. Phoenix, yeah, they flipped the roster more than the Kings did, but
Yep.
they had a clear direction. For the first time, they are clearly building around Devin Booker, and everybody knows he's the guy, and everybody has their roles, and they're being stars in their roles.
You're right.
As you laid out, both teams are playing like teams.
That's right. And you talk about the Jazz. I mean, they have Keontae George and they have Mekhi Luke in the backcourt, okay? And they have Ace Bailey, who they drafted with the 5th overall pick, who really, quite frankly, has been more disappointing than not. But I'm not surprised by that. Their star is Larry Markkinen, and he is playing, I think, almost – I would say there's probably – and again, we always talk about Joker, but I don't know if anybody in the league's playing better than Larry Markkinen. I mean that. I mean, the guy is freaking great. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. The word I'm looking for is frustrated. I'm frustrated when I watch the Kings because I watch the Suns play, and I'm like, gosh, I wish the Kings were like that. I watch the Jazz play, and even though they only have one more win than Sacramento, I like how they're playing as a team, like they have direction. I watch the Kings play, and they don't have a direction to me. Like there's nothing that's going on right now that I'm like, okay, I understand that. Do you? And I'm serious now. Do you understand what's going on with the Kings? I really have no idea what they're doing. And I don't think Doug really has an idea what he's doing. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't mean to like continue to pile on Doug, but like at some point I have to see like a rhythm and a consistency in his coaching pattern, and there is none. There is none. Zero. And what he says in the post-game press conferences and what I see on the floor don't jive. They don't mesh. Like it doesn't add up to me. It doesn't add up to me. I'm sorry. It just doesn't add up to me.
The veteran experiment has not worked out.
Oh my gosh.
You are 3-12 now. So the way that I look at it is if this is what it's going to be moving forward, just fast forward to the 82 game mark and act like you didn't have a season at all. Because my expectations were coming into it, yeah, we might not win a lot, but hopefully we come away with 3 or 4 pieces, Grant, that we can say, yeah, this fits into the future. They're young, and none of them are getting time. It's the same story of a Davion Mitchell that gets buried on the bench. It's the same story of Devin Carter, who's buried on the bench. What's to say that Nick Clifford's not going to be in the same position?
And is Doug really making all these moves on his own,
No.
or is he getting a direction from Scott Perry? And how's that working out? You know my feeling on that. I've been very open about that. I don't care what Scott Perry wants. It doesn't matter to me. I'm the coach. You don't want me to coach? Hire someone else. I'm coaching the team the way I want to because at the end of the day, I'm the one that's responsible for who's playing and who's not. And it's a direct reflection on me. And I've been around Doug enough to know he's not stupid. He's stubborn at times. Okay, there's a difference, but he's not stupid. He is stubborn at times. Okay, I will tell you that about Doug. But I mean, I think he's cutting his own wrist right now. That's my opinion. That's the way I'm looking at it. So, go ahead.
That is the frustration that I think is here with the fan base and is here with us, because if you're trying to translate what Doug's about and that passion over to the players, you're not playing the right people. You're just not, and I think it's above him as you laid out.
And listen, Doug is the coach of the Kings because of one person and one person only. Okay, Vivek Ranadive. And I understand that Vivek's going to talk to his coach because that's the way it has always been, and I understand that. But Doug understands and knows that Vivek has no clue to what he's talking about. So Doug's responsibility is he's got to be, schmoozing the coach, and he's got to have a good relationship. I get all of that. I've been there. I know what that's like. But you don't have to listen to what he says because you know that he has no idea what he's talking about. So, I mean, it's not good. I'll tell you what is good, Village Financial Group, all right? And when it comes to buying a home or selling a home, or if you're looking for a home equity line of credit, experience, a business that has been doing it successfully for a long time, 25 years. And Spencer, who, again, I've known for 25 years. He is experienced. He's a financing specialist. He's very, very creative. He has access to private money. He'll make it happen for you. He's going to make it happen for you. Call or text at 916-805-4868. That's 916-805-4868. A lot of properties available now. You know, a lot of people taking advantage of the rates at 6 or below. Go to bfgloans.com, bfgloans.com. You can find over 9,000 properties available for purchase. Just remember, it makes sense to call Spence at 916-805-4868. Village Financial Group, looking out for your best interest. When we come back, one of my favorites. What a life story. What a great man. A local guy. Ryan Anderson, next here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
For more than 4 decades, Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort has been trusted by home and business owners for their professional expertise in heating, air conditioning, and solar energy. Your home is your castle, and at Sierra Pacific, we thank you for 40 great years of trusting us to protect your castle. Sierra Pacific Home and Comfort, solar, heating, and air. SierraPacificHome.com.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks.
Hi, it's Margot from Bennett's Restaurants. At Bennett's, it's all about bold flavors and fresh handcrafted food served with genuine hospitality. Craving prime hand-cut steaks? We've got them. Fresh salmon, halibut, or giant Mexican prawns? We've got those too. At Bennett's, we serve premium seafood and steaks in a relaxed setting. Whether you're joining us for a special night out or a casual bite, we'll treat you like family every time. Find us in Sacramento, Roseville, and Rockland. View our menus and make a reservation at bennettsrestaurants.com.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its pre-diabetes awareness partners.
We continue on right here on the Grant Napear Show on Fox Sports Sacramento. One of my favorite guys that I watched him play high school basketball in person at Oak Ridge, where he led them right into Arco for the championship of the state. He went to Cal, and then he ended up being a first-round draft pick. Hard to believe that was back in 2008. Wow, so as time flies, the 21st overall pick. And then the Nets, not too long there before he went to Orlando and had some really good years there, ended up playing with New Orleans, Houston, Phoenix, Miami, and then ended his career in 2019 with the Houston Rockets. And he and his wife have just welcomed their third child into this world, the one and only Ryan Anderson. How are you, Ryan? It's good to have you on the show.
Grant, it is always good to talk to you. And you're right, time is flying by and the grays are showing up. It's getting to that place. I got the gray beard. I'm just going to let it ride, man. The silver fox is in right now.
That's
How you doing? How are you, Grant?
you know, buddy, I'm great. I'm so happy to be back on the radio in Sacramento where wow. I moved to Sacramento, Rhino, when I was 1987, and I started doing the Kings games in 1988, and I met you, I want to say, shortly after your high school years. And even though I'm from the East Coast, if people ask me where I'm from, I say Sacramento. I consider myself a Sacramentan. So it's great to be back on the air.
You are, Grant. You are the voice of Sacramento, and you are so loved by everybody in Sacramento. I am so happy that you are on the air there. You should have always been on the air there. We could talk. It's a conversation for another time. I love you. You're the best, and
thank you.
I'm just happy I'm so happy that you are back on this show, and man, yeah, you are. I will crown you a Sacramento legend. So. As a Sacramento-born kid, you deserve it, Grant.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Speaking of a Sacramento-born kid and playing locally in El Dorado Hills at an era during a time when the Kings were the talk of the NBA, what impact did the Sacramento Kings have on you as a child and someone that then took to the sport of basketball and then became so successful? But what impact did the Kings have on you as a kid?
Man, the Kings were everything to me. I mean, I know we've talked about it before, but it was almost like getting the Willy Wonka's golden ticket when you could get a ticket to one of those games, because they were so hard to get to, especially during those early 2000s era games, the playoff runs, and those players were a part of every one of my friends' households. They were literal kings to us. And it's been incredible over the years getting to know some of the players, being able to play alongside, Jason Williams and Hito Turkoglu, and getting to know Bobby Jackson over the years. And it's kind of like pinch myself moments, and Vlade as well. All these guys that I admired and loved. But yeah, they were a huge influence on me, but they almost felt untouchable. It felt like an era of players that, we'd wear King shirts around. I remember one of my best friends, we were walking around at an AAU tournament with Sacramento. I think I had a Chris Webber shirt on, and he had a Jay Will shirt on, and people were acknowledging the Sacramento Kings. You feel like such a small community out in Sacramento, but
yeah,
that team really opened everybody up to how great the city is, and how great that team was. And that was just such a fun era to grow up in Sacramento during those great years.
When you reflect back on your career, what was your favorite part?
Wow. It's like you said, I have 3 kids now. It's about family. I have some fun projects I'm working on. But, that travel lifestyle, that camaraderie, the locker room banter. I had some great teammates that I really do miss. I'd say my favorite time was my time with the Orlando Magic. We had an incredible group. The staff was just so they cared so much about the players and investing time into the players. Stan Van Gundy was an incredible coach. But man, those years, it just felt so cohesive. It felt like the way basketball is meant to be played. And a lot of players don't have those opportunities to play with organizations that are, that well run. They bounce around to different teams, and you might not have an experience with a really class act organization. But those were my favorite years in the 2009 to 2012, I'd say.
Ryan Anderson, our guest right here on Fox Sports Sacramento. Do you have any regrets about your career?
Yeah, I wish, it is a challenging time to be in the limelight, to be a professional athlete or whatever it might be, to handle criticism, to handle analytics in the game, to, everything is sort of under a microscope. And to me, at the end of my career, a lot of that kind of did get to me. I do have some regrets. I think we've talked about it before. I did get an offer from the Sacramento Kings, and I really, that was my first offer during free agency. And talking about that era, we were earlier about the Vlade Divac, Peja era. Those guys are calling me and offering me a contract. And to be honest with you, it almost felt like I wasn't worthy of wearing a Kings jersey. It's a very odd feeling. Very odd. But it was an honor to get that call from them. But obviously you have to weigh out options. My agent was there with me. We had to have some real serious conversations about fit and style of play and what might make the most sense. And ultimately I did choose Houston, and, hindsight is 2020. That organization was a very analytics based organization, and every year they bring in new players and try to, build the best team possible, but there was no camaraderie built. There was no chemistry built. I think that's something that's sort of lost within the NBA now. There's not a lot of time they invest in teams. That's why you see coaches and players getting fired every few months or traded away. It kind of just felt like that a whole lot in Houston. There was a lot of walking around on eggshells. I loved my teammates. I have no ill will, at this point, being retired as long as I have now. But, I do look back at that phone call and what would life have looked like wearing that Kings jersey. I'm in my basement right now looking at all my jerseys. It would be real nice to see Anderson 33 or whatever number I could have had with a Kings jersey. I'd lie to you if I said I don't think about that sometimes.
You talk about being in the limelight, and you were also in the limelight for a different reason. And if you don't want to get into this, I respect that, because it was in a previous life, really. But I've always shared this with you. As a matter of fact, when you were on my podcast a couple of years ago, I think maybe the last time I interviewed you, it was courtside. And when I mean interviewed you, I'm talking about during your playing days, was courtside before a game. And you were extremely involved in suicide awareness and prevention. And you had really spent a lot of your free time because of the experience that you went through. And right before the game, I had a gentleman walk up to me with tears in his eyes, wanting to meet you, and had told me that he was listening to the interview that we had and that he was thinking of ending it all. And that after hearing you, he decided to get a ticket, come to the game with the hope of meeting me and having me bring him to you, which I did. And you spent a few minutes with him. And I, to this day, don't know whether or not that interview truly saved his life, but I think it might have. And that was one of the most impactful moments that I've ever had in my decades of broadcasting. And so, we talk about the power of radio, and we talk about, like, when you try to do something for the good of the community based on a bad experience that you've had, you really don't know how many people that you are truly helping, but you really helped that individual. And I think you may have saved his life that night.
Wow. I remember that moment super vividly. Yeah, that, we do talk about the difficulties of obviously being in the spotlight or having people watch you or follow your every action. But it really, especially in that moment, but really in every moment of my career, I've tried to use my platform to use it in a positive way or to spread a really positive message. That was obviously a moment where it was the hardest time in my life. It was something that for me, I wanted to use that platform and use my voice to speak out about suicide awareness, but to speak out about self-care and to know that people aren't alone. And man, I mean, if you can help one person, that's all that really matters. It's spreading a positive message. And that moment was beautiful. We did start a foundation. We did do suicide prevention walks. Every year I'd go to Boston or we went to Philly, we went to New York. just to spread the message of standing together. And, we do live in a mental health crisis right now. We live in a time where people are struggling, and I think it's important to spread a positive. Obviously, there's a lot of divisiveness in the world. There's a lot of, there's a lot of narratives that people latch on to, and people are very combative against each other. And, I think the message of we're all not alone. We all have a story. We all have a message to share, and no one's perfect. And that moment, it's like when you face a really difficult challenge in your life, you can either go head on and try to make a change and help people, or you can fold and go the other way. And I'll tell you what, that was a really hard, difficult thing for myself, not to go the other way. But I wasn't alone. I had incredible people around me, you being one of them. And you gave me a platform too, Grant. You gave me an incredible platform to speak about it and to talk about it. And you know what? It got easier. Not what happened, going through what happened was easier, but the process of speaking about it got easier. And, I think that the biggest connector we can have is just communication and people being real with each other and understanding that we're all human, and we all have our flaws, but we all have beautiful things as well. And, that's my prayer for the world these days, is just for everyone to use whatever platform they have, just to connect people and to love on people and to do the best you can. We're all flawed, but we have a community that really does want to support each other. It's not really highlighted much in the world today. The fact
So
that
well said.
all people are alike, and all people struggle with things. But yeah, Grant, that was a beautiful moment with that guy. And
I'll never forget it.
Man, and me either. That was a beautiful moment, man. Yeah, I remember just sitting courtside with you. That was beautiful.
Ryan, you talk about people being there for you, and Monty Williams and his wife were there for you on that night, and they were so important to you at that time. And then Monty loses his wife tragically in an automobile accident, and his speech at her funeral, the eulogy, was one of the most impactful, incredible things that I've ever heard. It's just, you talk about life, right? And what you went through, and then you're there, with your arms around him. And as I fast forward, are you surprised? Monty probably better than anyone listening to the show right now, that he's not again getting another opportunity to coach. Because you know him so well. The experiences that you all have shared is, it's incredible, Rhino.
Yeah, what an incredible guy. Yeah, I was there for that, the service. It was a very odd 180 to, he was there for me the night that I experienced everything I experienced. And his family was there. Ingrid, his wife, was the one wrapping her arms around me, and as well as Monty. And then a year later to be the one wrapping my arms around him that morning, before we had the game, and then we had the service and everything. It was, life is crazy, man, but you just have to appreciate every moment and appreciate everyone around you and who you love, and just love on people. But yeah, that was it. What was your question again, Grant?
Well, my question was, with everything you've gone through and knowing Monty, and really he's had a lot of success coaching, and
right.
It didn't work out in Phoenix.
Yeah.
It didn't work out in Detroit. I'm just curious if you think we'll see him coaching again.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think so. I haven't talked to Monty in just a little while. I know Monty is a unique person in the sense where he really doesn't like the spotlight. He doesn't really like to be, I'm head coach Monty Williams. He doesn't need the recognition, or, a lot of people within the NBA, sure. It's a hard thing when you lose a gig, you kind of like, nothing is as good as this NBA job. I heard, last I heard, which was actually a few months back, I talked to one of his assistant coaches who's a really close buddy of mine. And the guy is as happy as he's ever been. He's coaching his kids.
Great.
He's just truly living a simple life, and to him, I know, knowing Monty, that is the best form of life. Just getting away from it all, being around his family, and doing what he feels is most important, which is obviously raising incredible kids. And he's got a lot of them, so that seems like he's got a lot on his plate. And I don't imagine him coming back to coaching in the NBA. But if he does, he would make for a great coach. And he did have some great runs. And I know in Detroit, he had sort of a short stint.
Sure.
But again, that's the culture of the world of the NBA these days. It's not, something isn't working out. You don't really, there's no time for patience with organizations. There's instant gratification. And that's sort of the unfortunate reality for these guys. It's like, everybody's sort of walking on eggshells, waiting for their time and hoping for success. But so I would imagine he's very, very happily going back into just more of the quiet life.
Ryan, before I let you go, you have so many fans in this area. So update us. You're now a father of 3. You just welcomed your 3rd baby recently. You're not even 40 yet. And life is great. You love being a dad. I know how spiritual you are and how faith has played such a big part in your life. What's next for you? If I have you on 10 years from now, what's Ryan Anderson going to be doing?
Yeah. So obviously, like you said, the kids, my life is drop-offs and pickups and kid shows and making lunches and hanging out with the kids, which is great. It really is awesome. I mean, it's incredible seeing them grow. And but other than the family, my parents are very they're not athletes. They're very art oriented within the arts, like music. They love painting. They love all of that stuff. They love being in nature. And to me, sort of half of me is that version of Ryan, and the other half was always basketball Ryan. So being retired, I've always loved this sort of creative side. And about 8 months ago, it's crazy. I had a dream about myself and a couple other basketball players that I played with shooting painted basketballs on a canvas, like an art canvas, in a all white room. And it's crazy. Since that dream, I've had the most incredible circle of people come my way. And we started a business together, which hopefully will come our way to Sacramento. But we are doing an event with the Orlando Magic where we do like live art experiences where we get these athletes. We found an artist out of Canada who's incredible. By chance, just met him, and he loved this concept. And he paints like the most iconic moments of an individual athlete or entertainer or whoever it is. And the athlete's there to shoot a painted basketball or throw a painted football, or whatever sport or art you do. Putting your own personalized art on the canvas of the painting that's celebrating that person's career. And then we invite like a selected people to create sort of like a really luxury, cool experience. And I love this. We've done a few events. We're going to do an event with the Orlando Magic in February. And it's just incredible. The artwork is beautiful, but it's sort of a one-stop shop memorabilia. We put up a game-worn jersey on there, and people have opportunities to buy this, or we can donate it to charity or auction it off. So it's been really fun, and really sort of my dream is to be home 90% of the time, and then 10% of the time I want to be able to do this concept and work it around to teams or do all-star weekends. And I'll have to show you some stuff, Grant. But
Listen, you have my number.
To do something with the Kings. I know.
You have my number. If
I'll
there's anything I can do, you have my number. If there's anything I can do to help you, you let me know. I'm happy to promote. Hey, listen, I want to say thank you. You've just like being around you and watching your career and your life. I'm so happy for you. And I hope that we can do this again in the not too distant future. All the best to you. And thank you so much for coming on the show.
Of course, Grant, man. Anything for you, buddy. Anything for you, man. Yeah,
Thank
wish
you.
you the best as well. Thank you for saying all that.
Thank you. That's Ryan Anderson. Amazing. And we'll come back and we'll wrap up this hour right here on Fox Sports Sacramento.
Looking for the ultimate night out? Welcome to HQ Showgirls, Sacramento's premier adult gentlemen's club. We're the only topless club between Reno and San Francisco serving alcohol, beer, wine, and champagne. All inside over 6,000 square feet of pure excitement. Planning a party or a VIP night? Call our VIP manager now at 916-389-0199 to book your table. Come experience the energy at HQ Showgirls, 851 Richards Boulevard, Sacramento. Open 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. Sunday through Thursday and until 4 a.m. Friday and Saturday. Visit hqnightclub.com, where the night begins and never stops.
Cameron, I just think we need to, see other people.
Are you trading me in?
No, a trade-in is what I'm getting from Kitchen Mart.
A trade-in?
Right now, Kitchen Mart's offering a $750 credit when you trade in your old kitchen countertops for something worth showing off, like granite, marble, or solid surface.
I'm not worth showing off?
Not like the stunning new quartz countertops Kitchen Mart just installed for Karen and Tom.
Huh.
Durable, easy cleanup, made their kitchen look brand new. And Kitchen Mart gave them a $750 trade-in credit to haul off their ugly old tile and grout countertop.
You're dumping me.
That's harsh. You want me to wait till I get the new countertops from Kitchen Mart?
At least hold off till Wednesday. I'm seeing Susan.
Susan!
Now's the perfect time to trade up to beautiful new quartz, granite, marble, or solid surface countertops. Because for a limited time, Kitchen Mart's offering a $750 trade-in credit for your old countertops. Go to kitchenmart.com today and schedule a free in-home consultation and save $750 off new countertops.
No one does it better than
kitchenmart.com.
At Downtown Ford Sacramento, we're proud of our long heritage. We've consistently provided Ford cars and trucks to families and businesses in this region for over 100 years. If we think about it, practically every kid who grew up in this town at one time or another rode around in a Ford that we sold to their family. We've served multiple generations of local farmers and ranchers who got their rugged Ford trucks from us. We've also provided many of the emergency vehicles that you see out doing the people's work every day on the streets. All of us at Downtown Ford, from our top-notch service department who keep your Ford running like new, to our dedicated finance team and the guys and gals in our showroom, we thank you for generations of love and loyalty to us. And for that love, we say right back at you. We're doing Fords just like we always have. Come see us any day of the week or visit us online at downtownfordsacramento.com.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant use disorder. Complex family dynamics, financial strain, and cultural expectations can weigh heavily and become a tipping point for those battling the physical and mental effects of addiction. But the holidays can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. They're a chance to take stock of what we have and are thankful for, to remember what's most important to us, and to consider what we can change. The holidays are a time of hope. So this holiday season, choose treatment and recovery. Embrace the support and company of family and friends, and create special moments. Get started by finding a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at choosechangeca.org. Find a proven treatment option that's right for you. Recover you at choosechangeca.org. That's choosechangeca.org.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking, the list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Really appreciate the text messages after the interview with Ryan. That's the reason, probably more than being with you and having that bond that I've had for all of these decades. It's conversations like that